Joe, listen, last time, did you do some editing so it got closer?
I don't know why.
Because it's really good. It came in closer. I said, how come in the other video is closer? So you kind of,
Well, in that case, yes, I did.
knew you were going to do that.
You brought it up close. You brought it up close, and right there looks fine.
Aliens behind somewhere, I mean, editing. Hi, everybody. I'm Marina Jacobi with co-host Joe Pena. Today, thanks for coming. And today we're going to talk about fluctuating realities, truth and lie, and how everything works through the structure. Before you watch that video, if you are for the first time watching my video, please go to to my YouTube channel and look the two videos of Marina Jacobi. Quantum Manifestation is the first video you must watch, and the second video is Marina Jacobi Mobilizing Structures. And this is the third video, which is about the fluctuating realities, what's happening. Before you watch that, you have to watch the first two, so you don't get too confused with what's happening in the quantum structure. Every second Saturday we do these videos. My suggestion is to sign up on my YouTube channel and always press the bell sign so you can get every single new video coming to you by notification, including, could you be so kind to sign on my website, marinajacobi.com. So I want to thank you so much for coming, and I also want to thank the people that donated so graciously for the last webinar, which was July 15, and this is Christine. Thank you very much. Susan, Brigitte, thank you so much for your generous donation. Also, thank you for everybody that booked sessions and donated generously for my books. I really do appreciate. Joe and I are so grateful and gracious for you coming and putting trust in us. Thank you so much. And now I'm going to explain the structure first, how it works, and what's happening, and then you can have any type of questions, and we're going to go to the questions. If you want to ask any type of questions, you can ask, we can see, I can channel. Right here in the screen, I always going to put the quantum structure, which is made from Trinity sound and light vibrational sequences. They combine into a plasma and gravitational field that in the middle has a black hole, and this is how you teleport through and shift from one parallel reality to another. You creating these plasmas, and when you lower the frequency of the vibration, you creating the matter. So that is basic knowledge that so far I talk in a quantum manifestation and mobilizing structures. And that consciousness is one particle that is flickering through time-space so quickly in a quantum level that is appearing next to itself to infinite amount of number. So that means that you are basically existing simultaneously to infinite amount of number in different parallel realities. And whatever reality you see is where you actually focus in your energy and emotion, so you can experience a timeline of certain agreement of reality. That is the basic. This is all in a quantum manifestation video and mobilizing structure. So now we're going to go into fluctuating realities and what is happening through the structure, how you fluctuate by your intention of your thoughts, deeds, and what you say to people, which I was taught that from a certain situation what happened to me. I'm going to give the example what happened. As you all know, that I'm taught through my daily life. And if I make something of decoy or do something that is basically not aligned with fifth dimensional behavior or structure or anything like that, it's basically they will stop me right in and there, and they're going to explain to me through the quantum structure. Because the quantum structure of that we are made from is basically fundamental, is like a map, and you cannot make a mistake with that. Once you know that, you're going to understand why everything is happening for you. In a quantum structure, another bylaw. The bylaw is that 1 plus 1 equals 3 from one reality. In another reality, you make it a third reality. That's why you have 1 plus 1 equals 3 in a quantum structure. Because from those two, for example, these two realities, they're different realities, the first one and the second one, you're combining everything and you're making a third structure. Basically, there is combination of those two realities. In another bylaw, you can't think of something if it doesn't exist in a quantum field. You have to know the vibrational sequence first in order to even imagine it. So this is, I'm going to keep repeating this bylaws so it kind of sinks in and crystallizes. And it's going to be very easy when you guys listen to more and more into the teachings. So it will penetrate, and when you get in the situation, you'll be able to pull yourself out, think that you're a hologram, and redirect your emotions and deeds depending on what that knowledge is. Once you know the knowledge, you know the mechanics of your existence, you can redirect it the way you want it. That's the goal. So you are the creator yourself, and once you know how to create everything and how to redirect it, then you're a master of it. We try to be the masters. So what happened one day was I had a friend that wanted to go out with me. And I said to myself, I really don't feel like going out with her right now. I feel very tired. It would be very nice if I just stay home and we can just talk about it. But when she called me to confirm, I said I wanted to be polite and I didn't hurt her feelings. And I said, oh, yeah, sure. I'm very excited that I want to go out. This is so much fun. And that's what I did. So in the next half an hour, I'm preparing myself to go out. In the meantime, I'm thinking, oh, I really feel like staying at home. Why didn't I say anything? And remember what I'm feeling a vibrational sequence. My feelings, your feelings, a vibration, their frequency, and that frequency has a specific sound vibration, whatever I was feeling. And literally in a 15 minutes before I go out, I was trying to get out of the hallway and I ended up hitting my foot so bad in a corner that I thought I ended up breaking my toe. And it became like a black and blue. And I said, oh my God, what I just did. I cannot go out right now. And I wish she comes with flip-flops, you know, because I can wear only flip-flops. And sure enough, she's coming in and she's with flip-flops. So I was still able to go out, didn't tell her what I did. But at the moment I ended up hitting my foot, my guidance stopped me and they told me, stop right there. And I said, what did I do now? Because I didn't realize what I was doing. And they said, you know the structure. What you end up doing, you end up fluctuating so much through the realities that you end up projecting your third reality, 1 plus 1 is 3, into whatever you want it. So what happened exactly through the structure? When I said something, I was really feeling not to go out. And the true vibration of my consciousness basically is really based on for me not to go out. So that frequency, for example, this was me here, you know, this was me. That frequency with me was very potent frequency because this is exactly what I felt. I really felt that I do not want to go out. But I end up saying, which is me again, something completely different to her because I tried to be polite. And they said, at the moment you do something like this, at the moment you're really thinking and vibrating on a stronger frequency that you don't want to go out because that's what you're really vibrating on, you end up over layering another frequency that basically is not your true self. And the true self really is the one you really want. But you end up putting another layer of reality, they said, of another frequency, emotion reality, that is basically is the one that it's like a lie. It's not what you're really vibrating on. So they said that the moment you start doing that, and you were not truthful basically with her, because you could say something, you could be polite and really say, listen, I really don't feel like going out, you can stay home and we can do something else, because that's what you're truly feeling. They said that the moment you put another frequency on the top of the one that you truly feel, you're starting, they said, to fluctuate like a waveform. That's what's happening. You're starting to fluctuate nonstop, but between those two, because I'm creating a two at the same time realities, because I end up giving off frequency, two different frequencies at the same time. But one of those two frequencies, remember when I was talking of potency is more stronger than the other, like a pill? The more potent frequency was the one that I was really feeling, but I end up saying something completely different because I was trying to be polite. They said there's no white lie or a bad lie. Frequency is frequency. It's gonna go whatever you wish to, depending on which one is more potent than the other. So because I was vibrating more potent than the other, the quantum field was trying to mimic the one basically that is more potent, because they said that the moment you give another vibration frequency, you starting to fluctuate non-stop from this to this to this, and they said it's to the infinite quantum number. It's so quickly, because it's starting to pick mini, mini, more. You know how you're doing this, but the one is gonna pick is gonna be the one that really you're vibrating on. Because you really, basically the quantum field and the consciousness will pick something for you that you do not go out. Because I was vibrating and giving a real code, which is very potent, that I don't want to go out. So now we're speaking through any type of to infinite amount of probabilities, how can do something and do something in the quantum field to make me stay home, because that's what I truly vibrating on. And the vibration is more potent. So what happened is, in order to give me what I wanted, I end up hitting my foot so bad because it was preventing me to go out, because this is the true vibration I was vibrating on. So for the quantum field, it was important to give me what I wanted. But by law, what did they say in the beginning? What did they say? Energy is energy. It doesn't matter, because energy is not biased. It's just gonna go the way you gave it, but you don't know the outcome. So she may have a car accident because I don't want to go out, or I end up hitting myself. So because the quantum structure, what it was doing, giving me what I wanted. But because I was not truthful, it went into the negative, because this frequency was more potent, because this is what I was truly thinking, that the one that I end up overlaying my true self. This is how the lie and deception is coming. And what's happening, and everybody needs to know that every single time you're not truthful, or you're saying something just because it's a white lie, is no such thing. The quantum field is going to give you something to prevent it, but you may receive it in a positive, you may receive it in a negative. And because it's usually in a negative, and why is that? Because the frequency is lie, is not your true self. So what's happening is more dense. And when it's more dense, you have a real stoppage. And how is this going to happen? You have no idea. Does that make sense to everybody?
It's the same explanation like you gave previously when you're doubting.
Yes. The same thing. Very good question. Thank you. When you have a doubt, the same thing is happening. It's starting to fluctuate. So you have to really redirect your thoughts and emotion and what you really want, and be very honest and stay on an honesty of what you truly feeling, because what you're doing is overlayering with a potency that is more dense, because it's not your true self of what you're really thinking. And this is also the same thing for the doubting. When you have a doubt, you start fluctuating on and on and on, and it's going to stop picking, and whatever again is more potent, you're going to receive that one. So with the lie and deception is literally the same thing. It fluctuates so much, but it's going to give you exactly what you want. But which way you're going to perceive it, you don't know. So this could be through anything that you may think of. And sometimes I never thought that I will, in order to stop me, to give me what I want, I'll hit my foot like I almost broke my toe. So because the structure can give you anything to infinite amount of number, it's still going to give you whatever you want, but that's not what you want really, because you are not, you end up over layering with something that was not your true vibration, and your true vibration is constantly on a structure of the heart, because that's what you truly felt from your heart. But you are not projecting that, is it? You were projecting overlayer of something that was not your true self. And that goes with everything we do in a daily life. They told me there's no white lie. It simply is. And you may end up in a lot of situations just because you are not mimicking your true vibration. And what the quantum field is doing is mimicking your true vibration, not the deception. And because it doesn't know, it's going to go to the more potent one. And always the more potent one is what you're truly feeling and thinking. And that's how you're accumulating negative frequencies and energies and so-called karma. Karma is basically accumulated false pretense that is not really vibrating on your true self, because you end up saying something completely different, which is not your true self. Does that make sense?
So what you're saying is that it's extremely important to live in our own truth and allow others to live in theirs and listen to our hearts, basically, right?
Yes. Be truthful to whatever you really feel. You don't have to tell, because sometimes we feel obligated that we have to explain when we're not doing something. But you can do it in a very polite way. So you don't have to give complete explanation for everything. You may say, I'm sorry, I bit a bit of pain right now, and can we do it another time? Something came up. And people are usually smart enough to understand that it's something that you don't wish to share, something private. So that will be okay. I will respect somebody's privacy. I would not try to, see what's really happening, because it's their private life. But if you say something completely different, they said it doesn't matter if it's a little thing that you say or a big thing. Energy is energy, and it's usually going to go somewhere, but usually it's going to go in the negative because it's not your true self. Okay, any more questions you guys have towards that? You can ask me any type of questions, because I'm going to start giving the new structures without talking so much about it, because it becomes overwhelming. So this is the new level that I'm trying to implement. Next time we may talk about something else, and I'm going to give bits and pieces every time the way they taught me, so it's not overwhelming for everybody with the quantum structure.
So I do have one more question.
Okay.
So if let's say if we fluctuate and we create a new timeline each time we fluctuate, and so does that mean no one really knows our timeline except like us, like me, like my heart, like nobody knows where I'm going, like which destination I'm going, which path I'm going, because I'm taking so many detours or so many different timelines? Like, who knows where I'm going?
This is a very good question. Yes. Remember that you fluctuate to infinite amount of numbers. What you're trying to do, what we have to try to do, is to stay in a positive. Remember, we were talking about a positive structure? What you're trying to do is to stay in a positive moment to moment, because you're fluctuating so much. You eventually gonna end up whatever you end up choosing, because we are constantly, your goal is basically to stay in a positive emotion most of the time. And in the end, it's going to be all the time, because it's going to be crystallized. And once you stay on the positive, you shift in moment to the next hologram based on the positive vibration. You're no longer going into the negative, because you're trying to keep up constantly with happiness, with joy, with giving, with sharing through the heart structure reality. And once you see that that's how you crystallize in the timeline, and the outcome you're going to know, and you know is in a positive. You always have to know that the outcome is in a positive when you project in positive. So, but the only thing you don't know how that positive is coming, because it's too infinite amount of probabilities that something may come to fruition for you. The way it was infinite amount of probabilities, what can happen to me, so I don't go out. I didn't know that this is going to happen, but I was not aware that I was projecting something else completely that the other one I was talking and overlaying. So you have to catch yourself and be truthful to your true self through the heart, and say it with politely so you don't end up in something negative. You can control it. Basically, you will fluctuate, and you always fluctuate, but you may fluctuate in a positive, because you're always fluctuating from realities, but fluctuate in a positive frequency through the true self of the heart structure, not of something that is a false pretense, but in the meantime you're vibrating completely in a different frequency, because that's basically a deception. It's not your true self, but the structure is going to give you a true self. That's what's happening. So yes, you are fluctuating, but you can pick. By always, you have to know that you're in a positive. When you do positive, you're going to end up with a positive outcome. But when you're constantly doing the positive, if you notice yourself that you drop your emotion into negative, then shift it, switch it, so you can move. Switch your emotion. Remember, the emotion is a frequency sound, is a hologram, is a structure. So switch your emotion by giving a gratitude of everything you have. So now you shift again into positive, and you keep shifting on and on and on. You keep shifting, but you stay in a positive. So your outcome is going to end up in a positive. But you don't know how it's going to be. So that can go in a negative, that can go in a positive, depending on what structure you're holding. If you're holding your true self from the heart, then you know that is always in a positive outcome. But if you overlayer it with something that is not your true vibration from the heart, then I guarantee you there will be something that will stop you, but usually may not be in a positive, because you end up being deception. Is not your true self. You're not truthful to the heart structure. And then the reality is going to go, the outcome is going to come different. Remember not to have any expectations for time or how it's going to happen, because there's no way we're going to know. And why is that? Because our three-dimensional brain cannot give you the probability to infinite amount of number. But when you let the structure be, and when you learn all that, you're going to know that you're going to have some kind of an outcome. Once we master that, trust me, you're going to set instantaneous manifestations, which I've seen it once or twice with me. But that is when you're constantly in this, and you can control it when you really master it, and when there's no ego structure there. The ego is a big thing, because the ego is overlaying something. You want something to have, because, for example, you want to show off in front of somebody, or you have everything, but in the meantime you want something bigger. Well, why do you really want something bigger? What does that have to do with anything? The greed, manipulation, all that comes into all this stuff. So you have to always peel the layers of what are you really thinking, what are you really feeling, so you know that it's not overlayered, that is not your true self. And when you find yourself and you really say, wow, I really remember, you guys, my video that I was talking about the BMW, that I wanted to have a BMW, and finally we have it on sale. And that when I got so angry at home because I had an argument with my son, wasn't listening, and here I'm fuming and being mean, and get out of the house. And instead for me to go through the other street, I ended up going to everybody, whatever they were playing. So I just, at that moment, I wanted everybody to see my car. And look what I'm talking about. But I'm talking about literally this moment, I wanted to show myself off. And how silly is that? Of everything I knew, and this was years ago when they were teaching me. And sure enough, I had a major car accident. The car was completely wrecked. And what happened? Another kid that was 17 years old hit my car. And guess what type of car that was? another BMW. As soon as I end up getting hit, literally somebody lift me off the car, and I was hearing that I was going through some kind of a structure. And then it shook me, and I heard the first thing that I heard very clear: does it matter what type of car you're driving? Because I ended up putting my ego, and because I was learning this was a lesson for me, because I created a reality from my ego structure that I basically end up doing something like that. I projected that for myself because I was putting ego. And the truth is, once you start learning this, manifestation is so quickly that I end up manifesting literally 20 minutes after I got out. And they caught me with all this stuff. That's how I've learned, but I didn't get upset that I lost the BMW or something like this. Next time I went in there, I never did that again. Because that was a false pretense, because I was so angry, I wanted to do something to make me feel better. That's what I was doing, because I was so mad. But that is not truly me, right? I thought that if I do something like this, that will make me feel better. Or somebody say, oh, how beautiful, that's incredible. And that was a false pretense, because the car shouldn't be something that people should acknowledge me for. That's not who I am. The car is not me. So that's how we learn through the process. So next time things happen, always think, was that truly what I felt? Was that really what I did was because of my ego, or because I felt that if I do something like this, people will say how good I am and that will make me feel better? Always peel the layers of how you feel. And once you find the true vibration, then from that momentum, redirect or switch so you get into the heart structure and control it on and on and on with your emotions and with your deeds, so you can end up in a positive outcome. Again, do not have expectations for the outcome, where, who, from whom, when, because it's no time. But more and more we become masters of all this knowledge, more and more your outcome is going to be faster and faster and faster, because there's no time. Because you've learned so well how to crystallize all that is almost instantaneous. The way we talk about the money, you don't need the money to manifest something in front of you. But we're learning the structure. We're learning how to constantly give and share on and on and on. So you crystallize something like this, and all of a sudden one day you're going to think that you need something. You're going to turn around and you're going to find it right in front of you. And this is exactly what's been happening in some situations. Any questions now? For anything, you can ask me any questions that may not be related to the structure. Anything. Martine.
Very good. I'm going to unmute you. You're
Hi,
unmuted.
Martine.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, thanks for coming.
Thank you very much. My daughter experienced something very unusual yesterday. She was going to the gym by car, and close to her house, she made a left at the stop sign to go to the street that goes to the gym. And once she did, she ended up on the other side of the city, and she was so in panic, like she didn't know where she was. I've heard these stories before, but it's different when it's from somebody from your own family. So, and she ended up not going to the gym because she was so far away that she had to come back in traffic and missed the gym appointment. So she's like, Mom, did I go to another dimension or another reality? What happened? So today she went again, and she's like, please pray for me. I'm not ending up again in a different reality where I don't want to be. So do you understand what I'm talking about?
Yes, I know exactly. Now this I'm going to explain through the structure, so when she watches, she'll know exactly what happened. Okay? Remember when I was saying that the one particle that we made of is flickering so quickly back and forth non-stop that is appearing next to itself and next to itself. So in actuality, when you start calculating all that, if I give you from point A to point B, I can always give you a mathematical equation of the time and how fast and everything else, right? But if I have the result of this equation, for example, is 3 miles per hour or whatever, but if I do another equation that is for the cluster of the universe or the entire universe, everything, what you're going to discover that you're basically flickering and you're staying in one position. You're shifting. You're not moving. You're shifting like a picture snapshots, like this. But for example, this one particle is appearing next to itself and next to itself, but you see it when you look at it. For example, you're standing over here and you look in the entire field. Right. You're going to see this one particle is basically, it's multiple in front of you. And that is to infinite number, basically. This particle is there. So when you look at it towards, these particles, you see the same particle, multiple realities. That's multiple parallel realities you're seeing.
Right.
Right? But in this reality, you can see that your daughter is at the gym, right?
No, she was going to the gym.
So she was going to the gym, that's right. For example, she thinks of the reality to go and all of a sudden end up where? To another city, for example.
Right.
Right? But guess what happened? You don't have to go moment to moment to moment because it's no time. I can literally get rid of those two and go directly into the other one. Right. Because in space, on the quantum field, there's no time. You are not moving from point A to point B. You literally in AB, basically. Do you get that one?
Yes, that's what Bashar is explaining, how their ships are going.
Through teleportation, that's right. But this is the quantum explanation. Okay. That's how you literally eliminating those two and you end up at the same area, but you shift into a completely different timeline of reality. Completely different hologram. Because you don't have to go from this road to next road. You literally can teleport from this reality to this one. And that's why A to B is going to be equal AB. Do you get that one? Do you understand this?
Yes, yes.
Because you're eliminating its illusion that you need to go to this one to this one. This is bilocation. What she did, she bilocated by eliminating, and that's a very good quality. If she opens that and if she wants to watch this explanation, let it sink in, let it crystallize. And more she does that, let her not be scared and surprised, but to redirect the knowingness that she can do that. Because we can all do that, by the way.
So how can we learn to do that consciously?
By the structure. That's why I always say start with my teachings of quantum manifestation. Mm-hmm. The second one is mobilizing structures. We had about ET ascension, the way I was talking, how from their reality and our reality, we created third, and how you're shifting. And now we're talking about lie and deception, and this is about bilocating. That's how you bilocate. You're skipping basically holographic timeline. It doesn't need to be there because A to B is AB. You can literally skip it. I'll show you in another way. Which way could that be? Hold on just a second. All right, I'm going to show something here, and I'm sure everybody's going to understand that one. Do you see this? From A to B, for example, right?
Yeah.
This is your quantum field that you are in, and you're watching over here, for example. Guess what I'm going to do? The A and B became AB right now, right?
Right. It's one, yeah.
Here it is.
Right.
But what I have in between? another timeline of structures, right?
Right.
I don't need to do that.
Mm.
I can cut through time space. And here I am.
Mm.
0 point. That's by location. We can all do it.
That's the goal.
That's the goal. So when you know that, you don't need the airplane, is it?
Exactly. Yeah.
That's what it is.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Okay, Marina, we have a question from Christine.
Hi,
Christine.
Marina. Hi.
Hi.
Hi. I have a question that I text you about a while ago, and I was reflecting on your answers to me, and I realized, is this a correct assumption that everyone that we're interacting with is telling us the truth, their version of the truth, their version of the truth that is accordance to their reality? And all of us have to listen to our heart, because our heart is unique to us, it's unique to our soul, and that we have to believe what our heart chooses is the truth. Is that correct?
Very good question again. Yes, but you always have to, that comes to a judgment. You know, basically not to have a judgment if somebody truly believes that what they do is the right thing for them. Because don't forget that they are basically, if this is you, right, and this is the other person, for example, right, if this is the other person, you creating your own reality.
Mm-hmm.
Let me put it this way. And the other person is creating their own holographic reality. And you creating between both of you third reality to exist, right? But that person perception could be completely different because they have different timeline that they end up learning from their perspective of understanding. The question is, if this person that you're interacting with is really vibrating on a heart structure and is really not giving you a deception, this is when your perception has to come in to understand and to peel the layers of what's really happening, judge by the situation, see if it's the heart. And if it's not coming from the heart, and now you have a different belief system, always go through the heart vibration. Always say, what can I do to make the situation better? Because your outcome to getting a positive with a person that you know, for example, is being deceptive. So it's like a devil's advocate here. Yes, they are believing, even if they do something very negative, but this is their belief system. You know, so don't put a judgment, have an understanding to this type of consciousness, because they also exist from their perspective. You know, because if you were born and indoctrinated in a certain way, how can you tell that? Look at what we're doing. We're still eating meat. What about if it's a consciousness that think of us as animals? And there's nothing you can do because it's through centuries built like that. But yet we eating the animals and we think as the animals of lower species.
Mm-hmm.
The same thing. Who are we to judge something like that? But let it go. You don't have to be part of this type of consciousness. But you always give love and light and stay in a heart structure, whatever you do. Why is that? Negative frequency cannot withhold positive, because positive is also from the consciousness itself. It's always going to eventually override the density.
Mm-hmm.
Because consciousness has to exist.
But what I'm actually referring to is my spiritual growth, because I was going through a lot of YouTube videos and channelers and so forth, and I was bombarded with a lot of information and a lot of their truths. So how can I, myself, Christine, determine, okay, this is what I should believe in, or I want to believe in? So do I listen to my heart? Is my heart the sole compass of leading me and guiding me to my path that is intended for me, Christine?
Very good question again. Yes, stay truthful to yourself, and whatever resonates, you will know. You always know if something resonates with you. Whatever resonates with you, that's what you're staying with. But always peel the layers to make sure that this is really what you feel, because let me make that clear. There could be a lot of speakers, for example, like me. If it doesn't resonate with you, perhaps it's not the time for you to get to this, point. That's okay. There's no judgment here, because maybe you needed to learn something else before this. Your consciousness will know, but at the same time, do not give a false pretense. For example, there's a very big speaker, and you know from within that this doesn't resonate, or for example, you end up finding out a situation that the person is greedy, manipulative, and is doing everything because of greed, then don't give a false pretense that you still need to listen to and support this person because it's a big name. You have to really be truthful to yourself and stay from within whatever you feel, because again, if you're not truthful, you're starting to fluctuate and you're going to end up in a negative structure, negative outcome, density,
Yeah, I agree. And then my last question is, my heart keeps on telling me that I'm in the 6th dimensional density because something happened to me. I was in the bathroom and I collapsed on the floor and I shifted. My heart said I shifted, but it kept on saying that I shifted to like a higher density. I don't understand why.
Collapse happened, they said, because of you remember when I was saying bilocating. When you, for example, you're in a 3 hertz frequency, just an example, vibration, and you end up shifting into, for example, 7, depending on the vibration, this could be a very big jump, and we take in our body at the same time with that. If you end up going into higher frequency very quickly, you may pass out, because I had this happen to me. When I end up actually through reading a book, I end up reading about Arcturians and going to the spacecraft. And I've read so much about them, and my guidance told me, stop reading right now. And I said, well, it's so interesting, I want to read it. I didn't listen. At the moment I've read that I'm walking into their spacecraft, and I got very nauseous. And that's because reading any word is a frequency. Remember what I said. If you read the harmonic reactive that I have, this is a 5th dimensional sequence frequency. Remember when I say it's rewiring, because every word has a frequency sound. Once you do something like this, you're shifting. So you end up shifting very quickly to another timeline, another parallel reality, which had a higher frequency than what you were existing. And this happens. But that's okay. You can learn to integrate. It's integrating. That's normal. Things can happen. So if you notice something like this happening, know that sometimes you're shifting too quickly. And sometimes that could be because you're not healthy. So you have to check exactly what's happening there with you, why this happened. But usually it's a very big shift. Oh, they said dropping of vibration. Hiring of vibration or dropping on vibration. Could be those two, so you have to check.
Oh, so how do I check?
Yeah, you have to check, because in your particular situation, I'm giving it by shifting very quickly into. And also could be a dropping of frequency. That could be connected with your body. Maybe the sugar end up dropping down or something like that. So you have to check.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank
Any
you,
other
Kristen.
questions?
I have something. It was a one-word prompt by a gentleman by the name of Yosan. Yosan's participating for the first time today.
Hi, Yosan. Where are you from?
Hold on a second. Yosan, I'm going to unmute your mic.
Hi, Marina.
Hi, Yosan. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm very fine. Excellent.
Where are you from?
I'm not from anywhere. I'm not local, but I am in Israel.
Oh, very nice. Hi.
And Konstantin invited me. I'm talking with Konstantin over years. We are plasma developers.
Yes. yes, thank you. With Kesha Foundation, I know. How are you?
No, we are independent. I'm
Oh,
not.
independent, yeah, but the
Um,
knowledge you implement in the knowledge.
yeah, I'm basically more interested in the spiritual side. Today, I was talking with Sheldon Nigel. You know Sheldon Nigel?
Yes.
Yeah, and he's bringing material every time he has a new message, and always know what would the message would be a few days in advance. I know the matter, because eventually he talks about what I thought. So I'm sharing this field of consciousness where he takes the messages from and so do others. And the field question was pointing to evolution of humankind. Evolution of humankind, for me, evolution is basically an organic phenomena. What I mean organic, I mean like if you know William Reich, you know Jung, a psychologist.
No.
100 years ago, William Reich,
No, I'm not familiar.
he created machines and environments where you go evolutionary, advance your evolutionary through tantra, through sexual intercourse, through sensual relationship, evolving. Yeah.
Yeah, because that I know through, I'm not familiar with exactly this type of, uh, the only thing that they told me about that type of energy, that when you have a true connection with your partner and is coming from the heart frequency, you
Yeah.
achieve a specific level of connection, which is not based on false pretense. And that
Yeah.
energy gets redirected in a completely different timeline compared with going nowhere, for example, randomly.
Yeah. So the issue that was in the message of Sheldon yesterday, because he comes from messengers, the justice collect the messages. He's not responsible for the message, but the
Yeah,
message.
I don't know him in person. I just know who he is.
Yeah, he's very humble, a very famous person in the same
Yes, I
time.
know.
And thing that he was telling that about, like you said, a heart connection between two people that having organic,
Intimacy.
strong organic connection. So he just describes the process, the procedure of evolution as it happening, and how to do it. And the tantra. So that's where I was when
Well, this is a permission slip. Let me explain it in this way. You don't have to have intimacy all the time in order to achieve this stuff. You can hold the vibration of that, the vibration of this intimacy, because once you know what it is, you can always recall it. Because you can't think of something if you don't know, you don't know from the quantum field. You always know the vibration. Your job is to grab the vibration that he's talking about, of this tantra vibration, once you're familiar what it is, and to implement it to everyday life, moment to moment to moment, to stay on that vibration so you achieve that reality. You don't have to go every day in a intimacy like that to achieve that reality. This is a false pretense. Except you have a partner, of course, you would like to do this all the time, be my guest, but you can grab that vibration by knowing it and implement it with your emotion without having the partner next to you.
my situation that I'm engaged with everything on a organic level. I'm engaged with animals, with every person. So when it's possible.
Well, that's because it's the one particle. Because you're the creator and you're projecting even the animals in your consciousness. Because it's nobody outside of you. It's only the one particle that it's the mega and is the smallest and is the whole universe. You could be the smallest particle, you could be the entire universe. That's why we talk about nano. And this could be whole the entire universe, which is you, and you projecting in every level anything you want. but nothing is outside the perimeters of your hologram of the universe. You creating everybody, you projecting everybody, you're doing absolutely everything. It's always in the perimeters of this structure. It's nobody outside of you to interfere with that. It's only you. It's only you. That's why it's unity, is one structure. That's why all of us right now at the same time are projecting these images so we can experience whatever we talk about, because for some reason I may have this knowledge. You actually gave a very good questions about the sexuality and how things are connected with each other, and why, for example, they said don't read these books about sexual stuff or watch, for example, movies like that, because your emotion goes into lust. And they said lust is not the same as the heart structure, where is the purity. And this is a totally different timelines, vibrations, and experiences. So once you know what is the true emotion of ecstasy, of love towards somebody, you don't have to do this all the time, like a ritual, which that will pull you away really from what's really happening. You have to be careful then, because then you may become sexual addict.
What I wanted to talk also about the moon and the sun, we have now a portal, they call it the Lion Gate. Do you have anything to say about this?
The consciousness that I'm working with, the Council of 9 and the 11, they're now working in these portals. Okay? That's what they wanted me to tell you.
Did you say they are not working in those portals?
No, they're not working on those portals. They're working in, remember I was talking about stargates? That's what they were working on, because this is a completely new structures for timelines. So they're not connected with the the portals that you're talking about, the Lion Gates.
So what are they connected with, please?
Okay, I'm gonna have to get in with that. We want to implement that what you're referring is, it's a timeline sequence that is completely different than the timelines that we are referring to. The people that are vibrating and the sequences for the Lion Gate, so you call, are being chosen and pre-chosen from their agreements depending on the realities that they wish to experience. What we are working on is the portals for ascension through intergalactic timelines. That means that you're going to have extension with your life form times, that you're going to exceed the realities of only three-dimensional structure. Basically, your 80 years may turn into 300 or 500, depending on the connections that you're going to have through your intergalactic families. That's what we're working on. And this is the stargates that we are talking about. The people that were chosen for that is predetermined from timelines and agreements that is connected with intergalactic families.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
I have one last question from.
Okay.
I see Fred. Hello,
Hi, Fred.
Hello, Martina. Marina.
Marina.
Yes, Marina. Yeah, I talked to you yesterday, and I attended to your webinar today, and it was very good information you had.
Thank you.
And thank you. And the question is, usually when I get a piece of paper and a pen, I'm starting doing automatic writing, and it comes to cursive, which I'm not that familiar with it. And the thing is, actually, I sent it to Mary Rodwell, but she can't read it in English. I don't know what kind of language it is.
Yes, because that language is a light language. That language was specifically designed for your own consciousness, because there was a code in there that only you can construct and deconstruct. So when you do language like this, just accept it the way it is, and your consciousness is going to crystallize it and transform it. Could be activation, could be something you need to get like information for something, could be to infinity situations why it was given to you. But I think it's because you're being activated. And since you start interacting with this type of structures, remember everything I talk about it is fifth dimensional structure. That's what we work with. That will crystallize, and because of that, maybe you open up something to give you more information. So you should be very proud of yourself and happy that you end up starting to do this stuff, because this is the beginning. That's how it starts.
So yeah, I was actually some picture or something comes and I don't know what it is. You know, I'm just doing it and I'm writing this stuff. And
Yeah,
I was
that's
wondering.
normal. It's normal. I can show you a lot of scriptures like this I did. It's like completely different languages. I was even told to watch certain very old tablets that was given to me. And I had to stay there for 20 minutes. I had a friend of mine that came in and literally, and he ended up being a psychic for people because I didn't know what I was doing. And he saw a white light coming literally on my third eye, and information was drawn from me to him. That's what happened. And he literally froze when this happened. So there is something to download. You got to understand a lot of these tablets that we've been having in Egypt and all this place. It's a light language, guys. And a lot of people, it's actually a language to activate certain beings, certain human beings. And you may think you don't know what you're doing, you're staring that, and all of a sudden you get a download subconsciously to activate you. Okay?
Yeah.
Because that was a sacred languages that no longer exist because all the words that we're doing and stuff like this was done on purpose for manipulation. A lot of stuff that you're doing, you're saying things, for example, in a word could be, hold on, word, and if I switch it, the backwards is raw. Do you see now?
Yes.
Consciously perceive both. A lot of things are like this implemented in our languages, in any type of language. The true light language is being forgotten. I end up downloading a couple of times different words, but I stopped doing this stuff like this because the light language, a true language of consciousness that is basically from the heart, is being literally pushed away. And look what was implemented. Because consciousness literally, recently I posted a video on Facebook. It was about a guy that he was showing mentalist. If you go now on Facebook and scroll down, it's about a guy that was doing, he was a mentalist. It's a very interesting video to see how he was just talking to you and implementing and doing pictures. And when he switched everything around, literally gave you the word that you have to put down. So imagine what's happening with the language. Always when you talk from the heart with a positive intention, positive words. And I know it's so easy because it's easy to go into saying something negative to somebody. I've done it. Okay? But your words are frequencies. And they're also mantra because behind word, you know what the meaning is. Raw, you say something else, but look at it. Your consciousness is taking both at the same time, people. So look what we're implementing in our consciousness on a daily basis. And that's not only English. It's all over.
Can I just comment about the light language? This gentleman mentioned, Fred mentioned Mary Rodwell, I think. What I found was interesting in one of the recent videos I saw was where she mentioned one star child, whatever they refer to them to, as the new humans. One child could read something that was written by someone else on a whole other part of the world. And it was symbolic, light language that the person, far away was writing. Nobody knew, but somehow Mary put the two of them together just as a matter of chance. And that young person was able to read and make sense of that. However, that's not to discount what you just told to Fred. And I just like to underscore that what he was writing was something that was from his consciousness for him to understand. Is that how I understood that?
Or downloading completely Asian language. Could be both ways.
Okay.
Could be both ways. I think the languages that I did, I know they were extra dimensionals from my galactic family. It was some kind of a language all the time. And they said, by the way, and I go do something, and it usually looks like almost like you know how the hieroglyphs of Chinese people, a Sumerian tablet, something similar to that. It's almost like goes like this. And you may do something like this, for example, and then goes on top of it again, and is usually something like this, and is downloaded. And that is literally for you or their language. I'm not really sure, but I know is sinking, is imprinting, you know, into your consciousness, that you understand it, you know, because maybe something needed to be downloaded and implemented to you without, you know, you learning this way too. You're downloading information because remember, we're simultaneously running in multiple realities to infinity. So you're downloading information and that particular momentum from reality that you need to download. Because that's the quantum manifestation. You have it, and that's why sometimes when I get information, I don't have to go read the entire book to tell you. It's literally imprinted, doom right into it, and I break it down because already the entire information, for example, came into me, and we all can do that. Instead of me reading the entire book page by page, imagine that entire book is downloaded, you know everything, and now in order for me to tell you, I'm going 1 and 2 and 3 because I know everything simultaneously. And this is with all of us. All of us can do that because you're the consciousness, you have all the information, but open your channels and learn all this stuff, how to manipulate the structure in the way you want it, so you don't put conditions in order for you to download that. And more you do, then you're going to open up these areas that somebody is constantly downloading, and you're going to be able to extract the information from. It doesn't matter where it comes from. There are kids that there was a genius kid, they call it genius, but we're all geniuses, by the way. You were taught to believe that you're not, you know. And literally the mathematician will say, okay, solve that equation, and he literally will give the answer simultaneously. The answer pops in his head, and they panic because he could not break it down for them. They couldn't understand how he got the answer immediately. But guess what? In a quantum field, in a consciousness itself, you don't need to go by explanation. You simply know the answer. You know, why do you need it to break it down when when you need it is there?
Marina's work is brought to you through generous donations. If you would like to contribute your support, you can visit www.marinajacoby.com. Also, be sure to scroll down on the homepage and join Marina's mailing list so you can keep up with her latest activities.
So again, sign in for the website and the YouTube channel. And the YouTube channel, press the bell so you get notifications for the new videos. And thanks so much for your gratitude to everything you're doing for us. Thank you for coming. Thank you for letting me express my higher self through you. Thank you so much. Much love.
Everybody, hold up just a sec. I'm going to unmute us all so you can say goodbye.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye, everybody.
Bye, Marina.
Bye, Marina.
Bye. Blessing to you too. Bye, everybody.